Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this explosive edition of entertainment news where the lines between friendship, fame, and fiery tempers blur in the most unexpected ways. Imagine the glittering lights of a daytime talk show set, the kind where laughter echoes off the walls and musical notes soar through the air like birds set free from a cage. This is the world of the Kelly Clarkson Show, a beacon of joy and melody in the often chaotic landscape of television, hosted by the incomparable Kelly Clarkson, whose voice can shatter glass and mend hearts in the same breath. But today, we're not here to celebrate the harmonious duets or the feel-good stories that usually fill her stage. No, we're diving headfirst into a storm of drama that has left fans gasping, social media ablaze, and the entertainment industry buzzing like a hive disturbed by a wayward hand. The headline that's gripping the nation: Faith Hill, the queen of country soul with hits like Breathe and This Kiss, that have defined generations, was dramatically kicked off Kelly Clarkson's show following a heated argument that escalated faster than a wildfire in a dry Texas field. Picture this: Faith Hill, elegant as ever in a flowing emerald gown that catches the studio lights like emeralds in sunlight, striding onto the set with that signature smile, the one that's warmed millions of homes through TV screens and radio waves. She's no stranger to this show. In fact, Kelly has covered Faith's songs more times than we can count on one hand. Think of that soul-stirring rendition of Breathe that had viewers reaching for tissues, or the powerhouse take on Keep Walkin' On that brought down the house in 2021. Their bond seemed unbreakable, forged in the fires of mutual admiration for country roots and vocal prowess. Kelly, the American Idol champion turned talk show titan, has always spoken of Faith as a mentor, a friend, someone whose career she idolizes from afar and up close. But beneath the surface of these polished appearances lies the raw, unfiltered reality of two strong-willed women navigating the treacherous waters of celebrity life, where every word can be twisted into a tabloid tale and every glance scrutinized under a microscope. It all started innocently enough, as these things often do. The episode in question was meant to be a celebration, a special segment titled Country Queens Unite, where Faith was invited to chat about her latest ventures, perhaps tease a new album or reminisce about her days touring with Tim McGraw, her husband of over 2 decades, whose rugged charm and duet magic have made them an iconic power couple. The audience, a sea of eager faces decked out in cowboy hats and sequin tops, clapped thunderously as Faith took her seat opposite Kelly, who beamed with that infectious energy that makes her show a daily must-watch. Cameras rolled, the band struck up a gentle intro tune, and for the first few minutes, it was pure magic. Kelly leaned in, her eyes sparkling, and asked, "Faith, you've been the voice of heartbreak and hope for so long. Tell us, what's the one song that still gives you chills every time you sing it?" Faith's response was warm, reflective, sharing how The Lucky One reminds her of the serendipity in her life with Tim and their 3 daughters, Gracie, Maggie, and Audrey, who have grown into remarkable young women under the spotlight's glare. The crowd ate it up, laughter rippling through like a gentle breeze, and Kelly nodded along, her own stories of motherhood with her kids River and Remy weaving in seamlessly. But then, like a crack in a flawless diamond, the conversation shifted. Kelly, ever the curious host, pivoted to a more personal angle. "You've both been through the ringer with divorces, public scrutiny. How do you keep the faith, pun intended, when the world wants a piece of your soul?" It was a question meant to bond them, to highlight resilience, but Faith's expression flickered, just a momentary shadow crossing her features, like clouds passing over the sun on a summer day. What followed was not the scripted vulnerability fans expected, but a torrent of unspoken tensions that had been simmering for years, bubbling up from the depths of professional jealousies, personal heartaches, and the unrelenting pressure of maintaining perfection in an imperfect industry. As the argument unfolded, the studio air thickened with unspoken accusations, words flying like arrows in a battlefield where both women, armed with their sharp wits and deeper emotions, refused to back down. Faith's voice, usually as smooth as aged whiskey, rose in pitch, her hands gesturing emphatically as she countered Kelly's probing with a defense of her choices that included stepping back from the spotlight to prioritize family over fame, a decision Kelly had once publicly questioned in a magazine interview years prior. "You think it's easy walking away when the world demands you keep performing?" Faith shot back, her eyes flashing with the fire of someone who's stared down critics and come out stronger. Kelly, not one to be outmatched in a verbal spar, leaned forward, her Texas twang sharpening. "I'm not saying it's easy, Faith, I'm saying sometimes you have to fight for your voice, not hide it." The audience, sensing the shift from lighthearted chat to raw confrontation, fell into a stunned silence, broken only by the occasional gasp or murmur. Backstage whispers later revealed that producers were scrambling, earpieces buzzing with frantic instructions, but on camera, it played out in real time, a clash of titans that exposed the fragility beneath their glamorous facades. And just like that, what was meant to be a triumphant return for Faith Hill turned into her abrupt exit, stormed off the set in a whirlwind of emotion, leaving Kelly stunned and the crew in chaos. This wasn't just a spat, it was a seismic event in the world of daytime TV, a reminder that even the most admired icons are human, prone to the same passions and pitfalls that plague us all. As news broke mere hours later, thanks to a leaked clip that went viral faster than a pop single on streaming charts, the internet erupted. Twitter, X, lit up with hashtags like hashtag Faith vs Kelly and hashtag Talk Show Takedown, fans divided into camps, Team Faith, decrying Kelly's insensitive grilling, and Team Kelly, praising her for keeping it real. Memes proliferated, from Faith's iconic, Wild One, video edited with dramatic exit music to photoshopped images of the two divas in a boxing ring, gloves on and mics as weapons. Entertainment outlets pounced, with headlines screaming, country catfight, Hill Ed off Clarkson's stage. And, from duets to disputes, the unraveling of a showbiz sisterhood. But to truly understand this meltdown, we have to rewind the tape, peel back the layers of their shared history, and explore how two women who rose from humble beginnings to stratospheric success could find themselves at such odds. Faith Hill, born Audrey Faith Perry in 1967 in Ridgeland, Mississippi, grew up in a modest home where music was less a luxury and more a lifeline, her voice a gift discovered in church choirs and back porch sing-alongs. Signing with Warner Brothers at 21, she exploded onto the scene with Wild One in 1993, a sassy anthem that topped charts and made her the first female country artist to hold the #1 spot for 4 weeks straight. From there, it was a rocket ride, albums like Take Me As I Am and Faith, collaborations with giants like George Strait and her eventual marriage to Tim McGraw in 1996. Which birthed the Soul to Soul tours that raked in millions and solidified their status as country royalty. Yet, beneath the glitter, Faith faced demons, miscarriages that tested her faith, the relentless touring that strained her family, and a brief foray into acting with The Stepford Wives in 2004 that left her swearing off Hollywood after the grueling shoot drained her spirit. "I swore I'd never act again," she confessed on Kelly's show years earlier, a moment of candor that now feels like foreshadowing. Kelly Clarkson, on the other hand, burst forth from the American Idol crucible in 2002, her win a Cinderella story for the digital age, transforming a small-town Texas girl into a global sensation with A Moment Like This, that debuted at #1 on Billboard. Her journey was no fairy tale without thorns, battles with label execs over creative control, a messy divorce from Brandon Blackstock in 2020 that spilled into courtrooms and headlines, and the weight of motherhood amid a career that demanded her every ounce of energy. Through it all, Kelly's show became her sanctuary, launching in 2019 to critical acclaim and 5 daytime Emmys, a platform where she could blend her loves, music, stories, and unfiltered connection. Their paths crossed repeatedly, Kelly covering Faith's tracks in Kellyoke segments that felt like love letters, Faith guesting in 2022 to dish on family life in that ill-fated film role, even a joint appearance with Reba McEntire that had fans dreaming of a supergroup. But cracks appeared subtly, a 2019 interview where Tim McGraw credited Faith's colorful language for pushing him toward fitness, a lighthearted tale that hinted at the spice in their marriage, paralleled by Kelly's own tales of spousal nudges. By 2025, with Kelly back from a hiatus following Blackstock's tragic passing in August, her show was a phoenix rising, infused with light, as she described it, yet shadowed by grief. Faith, meanwhile, was promoting a memoir, Southern Strength, chronicling her life's highs and lows, including the pressures of fame that nearly broke her. It was this book that brought her back to Kelly's stage on October 7, 2025, a date now etched in infamy. The interview kicked off with applause, Faith gifting Kelly a signed copy, their hug lingering a beat too long, as if acknowledging the unspoken. Kelly, her voice steady despite the recent loss, praised the book. "Faith, this is raw, you don't hold back on the pain of losing pregnancies or the fight to balance stage and home." Faith nodded, tears glistening, sharing how writing it was cathartic, a way to reclaim her narrative from the tabloids that once dubbed her the other woman in Tim's pre-marriage flings. The energy was electric, the audience leaning in, but then Kelly pressed deeper. "In the book, you talk about stepping away from music in 2016 for the family hiatus, do you regret not fighting harder, like I did with my label battles? It was a question laced with Kelly's own scars, her eyes searching Faith's for solidarity. But Faith bristled, her posture stiffening. Regret, Kelly, you can't compare our fights. I chose my girls over Grammys, something the industry shamed me for, calling me retired when I was just breathing. The words hung heavy, Kelly's smile faltering as she replied, but hiding your light doesn't help anyone. Fans needed you, I needed your inspiration to push through my own darkness. And there it was, the spark. Faith's voice sharpened. Hiding. That's what you call prioritizing life over lights. You've got your show, your Vegas residency, I've got peace, something money can't buy. The back and forth accelerated, accusations flying. Kelly accusing Faith of abandoning the sisterhood by going quiet, Faith retorting that Kelly's hustle culture glorifies burnout, ignoring the human cost. The band froze mid-note, producers signaling commercial, but Kelly waved them off, her passion overriding protocol. You think I don't know loss? My divorce, Brandon's death, I'm still here, singing through the tears. Faith stood, chair scraping, and I'm still here, living through them, not performing for applause. With that, she turned on her heel, microphone dropping with a thud that echoed like a gavel, and exited stage left, the door slamming behind her like the final chord of a broken symphony. Kelly sat frozen, the audience erupting in a mix of boos and cheers, cameras cutting hastily to break as crew rushed in. In the aftermath, Faith's team issued a statement. A private conversation went public, respect for boundaries is key. Kelly, teary-eyed in a follow-up monologue, apologized, we all have triggers, I pushed too hard. Faith, I love you, let's talk off-air. But the damage was done, viewership spiking 40% for the episode, turning a mishap into ratings gold. Fans dissected every frame, from Faith's clenched jaw to Kelly's furrowed brow, theories abounding. Was it scripted drama? Real rift from Kelly's past covers, stealing Faith's thunder? Or deeper, the clash of generations, Faith's old-school grace versus Kelly's millennial grit? As we delve deeper, we'll uncover the backstories, the whispers from insiders, and what this means for their legacies. Stay tuned, because in showbiz, no argument is ever truly the end, it's just intermission. Now, let's pull back the curtain on the prelude to pandemonium, tracing the threads of admiration and animosity that wove this fateful encounter. Long before the mics hot and the lights blazing, Kelly Clarkson and Faith Hill shared a tapestry of mutual respect, their careers intersecting like rivers converging into a mighty stream. Kelly, hailing from Burleson, Texas, a town where football reigns and dreams are whispered under starry skies, found in Faith a North Star. Growing up, Kelly blasted Cry on her Walkman during lonely drives, Faith's emotive delivery a balm for a girl who sang in church to drown out family discord. Winning Idol in 2002 catapulted Kelly into Faith's orbit. By 2005, she was opening for the Soul 2 tour, a wide-eyed newcomer learning from Faith's poise amid 73 sold-out stadiums. She taught me how to command a crowd without losing your soul, Kelly later reflected in a 2010 Rolling Stone profile, crediting Faith's blend of vulnerability and power for shaping her debut album, Thankful. Faith, in turn, watched Kelly's ascent with a mother's pride, praising her raw gift. In a 2006 CMT interview, that girl sings like she's lived 100 lives, reminds me of Dolly, but with more fire. Their first on-air meeting came in 2010 on The Today Show, a casual chat that sparked when Kelly impulsively covered Mississippi Girl, Faith joining in for an impromptu harmony that trended nationwide. From there, collaborations multiplied. A 2014 ACM Awards duet on Red High Heels, where their voices intertwined like old friends at a honky-tonk, and Kelly's 2017 Meaning of Life album nodding to Faith's influence in its soulful undertones. But admiration has its shadows, and whispers of rivalry emerged subtly. As Kelly's Kellyoke segment became a viral sensation, her Faith covers This Kiss in 2020 with a rock edge, The Way You Love Me in 2022 infused with gospel flair, drew praise but also side eyes from purists who grumbled, Kelly's reimagining Faith's classics better than the original. Faith, ever gracious, downplayed it in a 2023 podcast, imitation is flattery, she's carrying the torch. Yet, insiders hint at unease. A source close to Faith's camp told Variety in 2024 that she felt overshadowed, especially as Kelly's show eclipsed traditional country platforms. The turning point loomed in 2022, when Faith guested on The Kelly Clarkson Show to promote 1883, her Yellowstone prequel role